All right, guys, so let's talk about flexibility and mobility. And so I want to start with our core first. So we have to start there with our flexibility and mobility. But the reason why I wanted to send you this video is we got to know why. Because I'll be honest with you, stretching doesn't always sound fun. The word flexible just maybe hurts some of you, right? And so really let's talk about why we need that mobility in our spine. We'll start there. So in our spine, there's fluid that surrounds our brain, and there's fluid that comes all the way down the spinal cord, all the way to your tailbone, and then back up. And that fluid carries the blood flow, it's the nutrients, the minerals that your brain and really your entire nerve system needs. And so if you are sluggish, if you don't have the flexibility and mobility in your spine, what happens is that fluid moves a lot slower. And when the fluid moves slower, then you start to have foggy thinking. You kind of feel like that you're just not as sharp anymore. You're just feeling tired. That's probably the biggest issue. So we have to make sure you have the proper mobility and flexibility in the spine for the fluid to be flowing to the brain faster, which is so important. Now, moving out from that, when we talk about joint function and biomechanics, many of us have had maybe joint problems in the past, and we think it's just a bone or a structure issue. But honestly, if our muscles don't have the flexibility, our ligaments and our tendons don't have the flexibility and or mobility, then what happens is that all that pressure is taken up in the joint. And when that compensation pattern starts to affect our labrum, our cartilage, or even our bone-on-bone joints, what happens is that a muscle issue turns into a joint problem. And so we know that if we focus on our muscles being flexible and really pushing it as much as we can there, and gaining that mobility in our joints, then we'll be able to prevent and or reverse arthritic changes down the road, prevent injury, and also just help you perform better in the gym or with any exercise that you're doing.